March council meeting to order. Welcome all our citizens, everyone that's also watching via our social media accounts. We'll open up in our normal fashion with the prayer, followed by a pledge. We'll ask Mr. Woods, would you lead us in prayer?
Yes, sir. Let us stand. Our Father in heaven, again, we thank you now for all of your many blessings that you have bestowed upon us. We thank you again, another Monday night you let us come together, the Master, to make decisions for the city of Bolivar. We pray, God, that you would give us wisdom, would you give us understanding. Bless our mayor, bless each one of the councils, bless all of the department head, and bless each worker that work within the department. God, again, we thank you for just keeping each one safe. This we pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If you would call the roll.
Mr. Brown? Here. Mr. Golden? Here. Mr. Lau? Here. Mr. McKinney? Here. Ms. Miller? Here. Mr. A? Here. Mr. Williams?
Here.
Mr. Woods?
Yeah.
All right. Mr. Kevin reached out to me. He has a trial that has him caught up that he can't get away from, so he's not with us, but he said if we had any question or anything, we could reach out to him. Have one set of minutes to approve from our regular scheduled February meeting. If there are no changes or corrections to those minutes, can I have a motion that we approve those minutes?
I move that we approve them.
I have a motion by Ms. Miller, is there a second? Second by Mr. Brown. If you would, cast your votes. Motion carried. On my report was just let everybody know that this year's Mayor's Ball will be held on the 12th. That's be here to over in our gymnasium. So if anybody would like tickets or to come and support that event, reach out to me and I can set some aside for you. April the 12th at 7 o'clock. Spring Fling will be held the 26th. That's the food truck festival as well as the carnival. Not carnival, food truck festival and vendors will be on the square. You'll see more information and stuff about that as it gets closer to time. Have a proclamation here for Blue and Green Day. So if you would bear with me as I read this. Proclamation for Blue and Green Day in the Mid-South. Whereas every year National Donate Life observes Blue and Green Day to amplify the importance of registering as an organ and tissue donor and encourage the public to wear blue and green to raise awareness. And whereas more than 100,000 Americans, including 4,000 in the Mid-South area, are currently on the national transplant waiting list, and whereas another person is added to the waiting list every 9 minutes, and on average 17 people die every day because the organs they need are not donated in time. And whereas we can do our part to save lives by educating and encouraging our peers and loved ones to register as an organ and tissue donor, and whereas the City of Bolivar, Tennessee supports National Donate Life and Mid-South Transplant Foundation and its effort to bring new life to men, women, and children in need of a life-saving organ and tissue transplants. And whereas we hold those that have saved lives through the gift of donation in the highest regard and are grateful for their selflessness, and now, therefore, I, Julian A. McTizick, Senior Mayor of the City of Bolivar, do hereby proclaim this 11th day hereby proclaim the 11th day of April 2025 in honor of Blue and Green Day in the Mid-South and Hardin County, the City of Bolivar, and thus encourage all residents to promote the importance of organ and tissue donation. In witness whereof, I hereby set my hand and cause to be affixed the seal of the City of Bolivar, Tennessee, on this 24th day of March 2025. So thank everyone that is an organ donor, and I would encourage you to be one if you're not, so you could save a life. All right, finally on my mayor's list, Councilman Williams reached out and had some questions and wanted me to do some updates on some of the projects we got going on around town, just to update you guys so y'all will know in the event that you were asked about some of them. So I've just got a list and I'll go through them all one by one. If y'all have any questions, feel free to stop me or raise your hand and we'll acknowledge you. So first we'll start Sand Beach Lake. If you've been down there, you will see that they have started pouring the footing for the pavilion. The boat ramp is complete. The concrete on that has been poured. We got it all closed, and we wanted to keep it closed until everything is done, because it's still active construction site right now. But the pavilion, amphitheater, and restrooms, the pavilion and restrooms are in one building. Those will be delivered mid-May is what the schedule is for that. And once those are delivered, then they'll start the construction on the actual pavilion, restrooms, as well as the stage. So right now, I think when I went down there earlier, the footings were done for the pavilion. I'm pretty sure they'll probably lay the slab for the pavilion and the stage sometime this week, if the weather is permitting. On the activity building, on the other side where we put the restrooms, that building is complete also. We're working with Jameson Slager with the Tennessee Office of Outdoor Recreation, and they have a Blue Way initiative where they're working with the Hatchet River and as well as with the city on how they could put in pedal boats, kayaking, canoes, and stuff like that. So as that time gets closer, we've had multiple meetings on what they can do, maybe on putting kayaks and canoes at the Hatchet as well as Sand Beach Lake, where those can be self-rented, or we could have some type of like a outdoor stand there at the activities building where that'll take place. So that's where everything is on Sand Beach Lake. We also have a grant that's coming up where we apply for called Rails to Trails, where we could take that out exterior trail and potentially asphalt that. But that hasn't been announced or anything right now. So that's where we are on that. Just go ahead, Mr. Woods.
No, the question I want to ask, will all of this be completed before the 4th of July?
Yes, sir. That's the plans right now for everything to be completed middle end of June. They said it won't take long to actually construct any of the actual buildings, because all the plumbing and all this stuff is there. Right now, the date that we've set for Red, White, and Bolivar is July the 3rd, which is that Thursday before that's right, that Thursday before the 4th.
We got us on the move there. We might be one of them cities that's stretching out in Tennessee. You know, they recognize it once a year. I don't know who all do that, but you know, they recognize
So that's coming along down there. Any questions on that?
Will the kayaks and stuff be owned by us, or will it be a third party that comes in and does all that?
Well, we were gonna look at purchasing them ourselves, but once the Blue Water Initiative came, we're gonna wait and see what they're gonna do, because if they're doing it, then they would do it all. And I'm saying that's a state land entity. But right now, hasn't been any decision made. If that doesn't come through, my plans is to use Parks and Rec, and we would do it through like a summer. We have summer jobs that some of the high school kids can do.
Gotcha.
Is that a lot of extra liability insurance or anything that we would have to do if we did it, as opposed to if some third party did it?
No, ma'am, our insurance is
gonna be
already, we are liability on everything. We have sidewalks, policemen, everything. Yeah. So, but that's where we are out there on Sand Beach Lake. Next on the YMCA project, what's called the PAR, the Preliminary Architectural Report, hopefully will be ready by the end of this week sometime, the latest of next week. And in that report includes basically hard numbers of what it's gonna do, what is it gonna cost for the remodel of the actual armory to fit a YMCA project. Once I get that actual number and we get that document in that report, that is what we use to go to USDA to ask for the funding for the actual monies from them. But before we do that, my plans is to have just more so of a community meeting, or whether I'm not just still call a council meeting as much as it'll be a work session that we actually look at the numbers and what it costs and see if because it'll be a pretty large sum. So I would like to have YMCA, the engineers, financial people from so the USDA will have a group that looks at the financial side of it, have all of us together in one room and just sort of talk all that through.
Did we ever get a purchase price for the
Yes, on the
armory?
armory it's $975, I think, $975,000 on the actual purchase of the armory and the land, and then that back land, they'll donate us that back side of it. I don't know how many acres it is.
So would that part also include like the ball fields, pickleball courts, basketball courts, everything? Cause you mentioned just Armory, but does that include everything?
Does what include everything?
The par?
The par will include, so the par will include just the Armory amount, but the actual amount that they will give us will include the amount for the ball fields and stuff like that. USDA won't fund ball fields and recreational stuff, so what will happen is they will say number A on USDA, whatever that number is for the Armory model, and then whatever the number is for the ball field will be two different loans or two different transactions. The only thing that can be in USDA is the actual building, the remodel, the new building with the gymnasium and stuff like that in it.
How will we get numbers on the ball fields and all that?
That will be included in that number.
We just
So-
can't do the funding through USDA.
Right, so the
Okay.
par will just be for the funding through USDA, but what the engineers report that they will give us will have the cost on the whole thing.
I got you.
You will have one total, but we'll use two different funding sources.
Like a phase 1 and a phase 2.
And that's, when we have that discussion, we will talk, if this something that we wanna do in phases, do we wanna break it all down? So that's what that will look like once we get that number. All right, that's all on the YMCA. On the ICE building, if y'all can recall the building, out on Van Buren in the county industrial park. We awarded that, we will award that grant, tonight on the remodel. That's what, under new business, item C. Those bids came in, Ricky, last week, I think. I can't remember what day, last week or week before last, on the actual rehab of the lighting, and the electrical upgrades to that building on ICE. We are in discussion with a potential prospect to reopen that. We're not at the final stages of what the deal looks like, but we are in that discussion, and that's going well so far. So, but we'll approve that tonight, and then once that's approved, we'll send it to the state, and then the state will give them the okay to go ahead and start the construct. Well, it's not really construction, but to start the rehab, I guess is a better term. Any questions on the IC?
So when you say rehab, a lot of that's just the electrical that was all ripped out whenever.
Yeah,
it
that's
was vacant,
all,
right?
when I say rehab, that's all that money is. I think it's $700,000. Unfortunately, they did a lot of damage for probably a couple $1,000s worth of copper, if that much. But that would be redoing all the electrical panels. Right now, there is no power to the building, but redoing all the electrical panels and doing LED lighting in the manufacturing area.
And that's a grant, you said?
Yes, site development grant.
So all of that stuff that was left inside the building, I mean, it was full, it was a ton of stuff. What are we gonna do with all that?
It's still there. The prospect that I'm talking to about it all, they are interested in it. So right now, none of it has been, it's been cleaned up, but all of it's still there. We just secured it, locked it up, but all of the forklifts and all this stuff's still out there. In the event, if this deal discussion falls through, at that point, then I'll probably come back and say, let's auction it all off and get rid of all of it. But right now, they want it. If they decide to take over, they want it, so we haven't done anything with it. Okay, next on the neighborhood project, this is the building that we're renting out to Southwest. If you guys remember, we did the front part on the back side. The remodel for that, we had a Connected Communities Facilities grant. I hope I said that right, it was a mouthful. It's Connected Communities or either Communities Connected, it's one of them two, so I don't know which way. But that's, I think it's $589,000. That grant is in the design phase. TLM has that grant, and once that design is done, I want to say we're probably 80%, 90% complete with that design. And once that's done, they're putting together engineered drawings, and once that's done, they'll put that out for bid to finish the rehab on the back of the neighborhood building. And that's where we're gonna look at putting all our nonprofits and help organizations and stuff in that, is what that is. So it's still, but Southwest is using it. It's working out great for them. We haven't had any issues at all. We monitor stuff just for the old building, but for the most part, it's all been good on that. All right, any questions on that? All right, on the Watson site, industrial, expanding that, we got a grant to do due diligence on the 300 acres that we have an option on through our industrial park. That's going well. I actually had a meeting in Nashville this morning, presenting that to the ECD team, and hopefully we'll have some prospects looking at that property here pretty soon. That's one of the best industrial sites in West Tennessee right now when it comes to greenfield. That size and with the utilities and stuff being there, that's a really, really good site. So just a matter of waiting and just hoping we can get something going out there. All right, sorry, on the wall innovations, they received a last week or 2 weeks ago. I got an email from ECD that Wall Innovations has gotten a 2-year extension on their grant. They have purchased their building. They have contractor lined up, and they have got with the state in which the grant they received was just directly through the state. We didn't have anything to do with that, so that contract was amended for them to have an extra 2 years to have their requirements in on those state funds.
So if I don't know if I think I read this, they received like over $500,000 from the state?
I think it was 700.
And that was before pre-COVID.
I guess so. I don't remember that. Yeah.
And they still, I mean, all we've done is take pictures so far. So hopefully something will happen with that.
Yeah, we can.
Cause
we
it
hope
sounds
so.
like they probably done spent that money.
Yeah, well, that's be, but they work out with the state. So
Yeah.
that's it on that. And Blossom Park is under construction. For the ones that don't know about what we talked, it's been probably 4 years now, not longer. We had a community meeting about putting a playground back over behind Jervis. I was intending to try to find the name of the organization, but they donated playground equipment to. We looked it up. I think when they bought it was $25,000 when they bought it for Lake Bunda, and they donated to the city for us to just do whatever we wanted to do with it. So we have been waiting for a contractor, waiting to find the Donna Spencer's installing it. He got sick and I think stroke a leg or do something, but he started on that, I guess, probably 2 or 3 weeks ago. And if a couple of you guys have called, we are not going to do any basketball goals. We're just going to do the playground area over there. Everybody, I've talked to quite a few of them. Quite a few wanted the basketball goals. I had one that did not. So for lack of confusion and stuff, I just decided we're gonna have a playground, do a little walking trail. It's gonna be a real nice park for the kids to have over on behind Jervis over there. So that, I don't know the time frame. There was like 2 pieces that they were missing that they had to order. That will be back, but that's not costing us anything. They're doing other than the install, but the actual equipment itself was donated, so it didn't cost us anything. We'll do a reveal and all of that once it's completed. I'm thinking probably another month or 2 before that's actually all done. But that's on the Blossom Park project.
Question on that.
Yes, sir.
What have changed since, it's been 10, 12 years, the citizens over there in behind Jervis did not want a park? What have changed since then?
Well, we had a community meeting probably, say, 4 years ago, and there was a group that they all were, and they didn't want a lot of the basketball, but there was quite a few that was okay and wanted a park over there. And my commitment, I told them, was we found a grant or found funds to do it, that we would do it. And that playground area, that playground equipment was available, so I didn't realize, we talked to Donnie about it a while ago, and it's been sitting at Pleasant, we done had it scattered around a lot of different places, and he called Eddie, I guess, and told him when it was ready, and so that's what. So it's been something that we discussed, like I said, it's been at least 4 years ago.
Maybe I done forgot, or I must've been out of town or what, but when was that meeting 4 years ago?
I don't remember
What,
the date.
was it here,
Yeah, we
or
had it here.
Was it publicized in the paper and stuff?
Yeah, we had probably 20 plus people here.
Yeah, I remember Miss Perry came over and Mr. Harris.
Yeah.
I mean, we had, the ones I done talked over there, and I guess there's a few, I guess, and they didn't want the park over there, so I was just trying to check and see what was the, what changed since then. But,
A new group of kids and a new group of adults.
Well,
Different scenery, different personalities now.
well, not what I talked to, same ones over there as me. Basically the same ones over there, I don't know what kids you know.
We gotta get the kids somewhere to go. Where you wanna send them?
They don't want it over there. If they don't want it over there, Mr. Brown, that's what we're gonna have to do. We just don't give it to them. You know,
No.
it's basically that. What are you talking
The
about?
mayor just said that he met with the people. The majority said yes.
That was 4 years ago. What they saying now?
I've
Not
only
4
had-
years ago.
I've had one person that didn't want it, that was Mr. Gatlin. He's the only one that I've had that has told me that he didn't want it over there. The
He
only
talked
one.
to me the other day, he said that, he was okay with it as long as the basketball go in there. He told me we agree with all the rest of it, and Mr. Harris and, some of the others agree with it. They just didn't want the, basketball go, cause they figure be big kids out there, hanging out late at night or playing the music loud or whatever. But what we got over there now is just for small kids, somebody have to be over them, cause they, those little things ain't big enough for me to get in. Nobody else. And so, that's what he told me the other day. He called, what he saw me, I saw him at a funeral, and he was telling me about it anymore. That's when I called you and let you know that, they just didn't want the basketball goal cause it'd be too much noise and the people driving over with the boom box and whatever, so we don't have the basketball goal. They didn't have any complaints.
And that's, like I said, that's the only negative I've had. I hadn't had anybody else. I went out there and talked to people personally that live over there, so. they
It's just a couple of them I talked to said not, but is there any way possible we can put a camera over there then?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Mike won't
That'd
have
be
a
good.
problem with that.
That'd be good.
Maybe we can get a grant for it, cause they're pretty pricey now.
$2,500.
Yeah, it won't
That'd be
take,
good.
it won't take much.
They help out the police department now.
Yeah.
I think that,
Cam be good, Larry.
Be well worth it.
All right, that's all the updates. While I'm talking about updates, is there anything that I missed or that y'all had any questions on?
I just wanted to say that I appreciate this, and I hope that we do this on a regular basis, just so that we keep abreast of what's going on, because, for example, like the park, somebody just came up to me while I was behind Jervis and said, "Oh my God, Caroline, y'all building a park back?" And I was like, "We are?" So that's when I called you or texted you just to say, if we could just know what's going on ahead of time, so that when the community comes at us, we already have the answers, we already know what's going on. So if we could just do that monthly, like maybe when Carrie Beth sends out the agenda, we can get that. I would appreciate it. I think everybody would.
That'd be nice.
Mr. Williams?
The only thing I had was the tannery. I know that we had a grant through the EPA a while back, and they did like the phase 1, and
And
several
they're
phases
still
to it.
doing that, so
We
that
got
tannery,
We got approved for a brown site.
Bradford, yes, ma'am. So they're still doing, I think I'm meeting, I saw them on my calendar, I think I'm meeting with them this week, but, that granting that brownfield assessment is gonna be very tedious and a long process, but I'm meeting with them, it's on my calendar what day, but we still have that, and they're still working on it all now. It's a whole lot of, those environmental things stacked to be that big. I don't know what half that stuff means, but we're still working through that now. Once that's done, they will give us a report saying this is what their findings, and that those will go to TDEC, and then basically TDEC will tell us what we can or can't do with their property.
I got you. And just one more. So is there a shopping center going up right there at Water? Is that Water and Market Street? Right there on the left? Right there across from
Water
Double
and Market.
Ambulance?
Liquor store.
Oh, that's Maria's liquor store. I say Maria, it's her son that's opened
Yes,
the liquor
Maria.
store, yeah.
Is it the whole thing gonna, cause there's like 3 different.
I don't know, I think she's only putting the liquor store in one section. I
think
can't
she said
speak to
retail.
what's gonna be in the rest of
She
them.
said, I think she was some retail in
I
the
got you.
back.
The only thing that's came to us is the permit for the liquor
I
store.
got you. Yeah, I was just wondering.
Drive-through and all that.
It looks good down there.
Yeah, I saw it earlier. I was just curious.
All right,
Hopefully
next.
get that brownfield situation and all that taken care of while we still have an EPA, cause you just never know.
All right, right, next we'll move on to, public comments. Is there anybody here? And I didn't finish that, but Jerry's gonna come, and I'm pretty sure y'all can drill him about tape road, so I had that on there, but Jerry, I'll give you that. I know you're excited about it. All right, next on the standing committee reports, BEA met on the 24th, their regular meeting. Chris Mitchell updated the board on TVA's current status and gave an overview on the financial position of BEA. Approved the low bid for Murphy and Sons for the fiber warehouse of $463,021. 70% of the cost will be covered by the state fiber grant. Garnet Electric Company was awarded the bid on the Hebron substation renovation for TVA, the Silicon Ranch solar project. Their bid was $1.93445. Those funds will be reimbursed by Silicon Ranch. Next, move utilities, Mr. Knuckles.
Good evening, Council, Mayor. The Utility Board met March the 5th, and following, we discussed the utility services have presented our yearly check for the antennas on the water tank. Y'all see the amount of $46,239.27. Also, A2H, we had a bid opening on phase 1 of the ARC project that started in 2021. And this is the first phase, and Suncoast Infrastructure got the low bid of $553,000. And the washout we had on the gas line on 125 is complete, and the gas prices went to 76 cents a unit, and hopefully they're coming down. And next month, I've got to go to a board meeting at TAC Wednesday. We're coming up on our gas purchases, and I'll have to bring that before y'all and the board, and like y'all on that. We're running out of our contract, so we're going to extend it, but I'll have more information after Wednesday. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Knuckles.
All right.
Fire Chief Price, while he's coming, I forgot to mention on the updates you talked. I started back sending y'all those leaks on our weekly updates. Did y'all all get them and open them? Okay, all right. So just make sure y'all get them and open them, because if I can tell how many of y'all open them and read them.
Mine didn't want to open it first.
There's 8 of y'all up here, so I expect them all to show them 8 read. All right. Go ahead, Chief Price.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Total call was 82 calls. Had in the city we had 74. In the county we had 8. EMR calls we had 66. We had 1 in the county. We normally try not to go out in the county, but sometimes if they page us out, we're gonna go because somebody need help. So, but most of the time we stay in the city. Training hour we had 364 training hours. Smoke alarm installed was 16. Fire code inspection was 18. Public relation event was 5. 6 career firefighters have finished the EMR class. We got some getting ready to start testing. I think Thursday. I think we got maybe 1 or 2 doing Thursday. Got some coming up April the 1st and April the 3rd. Going to be taking trying to get certified to do EMR calls. So they're pretty close to doing that. After we get that, we have 11 EMR calls on the staff at Bolivar Fire Department, with 1 volunteer is going to be doing it. Well, 2 volunteers, but 1 went through this class. Bolivar Fire Department Red Cross would be doing a door-to-door smoke alarm cameras Saturday morning starting at 9 to 12. We'll be doing putting up free smoke alarm, 10-year battery life smoke alarm. We're going to be in the neighborhood, Ridgeway, Janice, Judy Cole, Turns, Cliff Street, West End, and Lake Street. Hoping maybe we can get Maury and Shelby Lane off in that too. This is my report.
Thank you,
Have any
Chief.
questions? Thank you, guys.
Next, Police Chief Jones.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My report's as follows: 320 calls for service, 139 citations, 12 accidents, 2 of those for injury, 10 property damage, 56 arrests, 8 of those were juveniles, 48 were adults. Special events, we had 12 shifts of the GSHO task force, and we've had 192 hours of training. Any questions?
Chief Jones, do we have a problem with one of our repeaters here in town? Is one of them down or having issues or anything?
We only have 1 repeater.
Is it having issues or something?
You might have to be more specific.
I was talking to some officers the other day, and they were trying to get out on the radio. They're like, we can't even get out in the city because something's wrong with the repeater. And they didn't elaborate what was going on with it. They just said there was something wrong with the repeater or something in town, damaged or something. I have no idea. And he was standing right beside me. He couldn't even get out over his radio.
Was it his repeater or his car?
It was his handheld.
I can't answer that because it hadn't been brought to me to have it checked out.
I got you. I was just curious.
Okay.
Thank you, Chief Zone. Parks and Rec, Mr. Ford.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Parks and Recreation reports on the following. We installed the final 6 permanent disc golf baskets at the course at Pleasant, so we have a full 18-hole basket course now. We still have to install the launching pads or the tee boxes for the final 6, but the baskets are complete. Our youth basketball, the 15 through 18-year-old league, we began the registration or the sign-up process, and it'll run through the middle of next month. We also going to start our summer search for possible lifeguards for the swimming pool. Sometime next week we'll put out the ads for that. And lastly, our 11 through 14-year-old basketball league is on the way. The games are going well. We typically play on Monday and Thursday night. We didn't schedule any tonight for the because of the council meeting, but Thursday and then all of next week, and we'll complete that season. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Ford.
All right.
Next, Streets and Sanitation.
Hey, Mr. Anthony, sorry. So what's going on with the pool this year? We're going to try to do it again? You think it's going to hold up, or?
We're going to do our best. We'll know once we get into it. I know we have to, the pump that was rebuilt years ago, the pump that's there now is not operable. We're going to replace that one with the other one is already out there. And we're going to see if we can get it working. If we do, we're going to move forward.
I was just curious. I know last year at the end of the season we was having some issues and stuff, so I was just curious what's going on.
We'll keep you updated, but we're going to try to do everything we can to get it over.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr.
Next,
Ford.
Streets and Sanitation. Mr. Mayfield.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, department head, Jerry Mayfield, Bolivar City Sanitation Department. My report is as followed. We had, landfill, commercial was 263.68 tons. Residential was 115.27 tons for a total of 378.95 tons. We're still doing our, brush and leaf pickup as usual. We, assisted with pressure washing of the ball fields, stadium and the buildings, trying to get it ready and get it painted and everything. And our bulky item pickup will start April 1st. April 1st will be.
Give everybody an update on the tape road deal.
Well, we've started digging. We finally found, of course, Jim and them come out and help find the water lines, the gas line, and they've killed that and they've got that ready to go. We're having an issue with the AT&T fiber optics line is on the left side going out, and we're having trouble. We've located it, but it's not where it's supposed to be as far as depth, and Darren and them are working on that. We're trying to get that situated, and it's going to be a drawn-out process. It's a lot worse than what we thought.
So hopefully they'll have it fixed and open up pretty soon. Ordering, I think the cover was 16,000.
They're thereabout, yes, sir.
Yeah, so,
Yes,
it's
sir.
gonna-
And we're gonna need about $6,000 or $8,000 worth of rock to put back in the bottom. We got filter paper or geocloth coming, to do the lining underneath it. Trying to shore it up real good so it, knock on something hard, it don't happen again no time soon. I mean, that's what we're looking for, so.
All right, well,
Mr. Mayfield, I know you guys are busy and we really appreciate all that y'all are doing, but whenever y'all get a chance, bulky months coming up, can y'all go down Hines Boulevard? It looks terrible down through there.
Yes, sir, it
There's
does.
basketball goes everywhere, there's trash cans thrown out, there's couches, there's furniture, there's end tables, there's everything. A lady called me the other day that lives on my street and was complaining about it. She says, Chris, I know you see it because you take that road every day to work, and I do see it,
Yes,
right? And so it looks terrible.
Yes.
I don't know if this council may need to do something about an ordinance about garbage cans, but there's garbage cans on the road and the street, tipped over. I get more complaints on Hines Boulevard than anything else in West Bolivar. It's terrible.
Yes, sir, we
So if
do.
y'all don't mind, just send a truck down through there, and there's all kind of debris and furniture.
Yes, sir, yeah,
Pick up
when we
leads.
go out, we make the route, and I mean, we just pick up wherever it's at, you know, best we can, and usually by the time the month is over, it's back out there again, you know, I mean,
Yes, sir.
so we're having issues out that way.
Well,
We
thank
are.
you. I really appreciate
All
that.
right,
Thank you.
thank y'all.
Yes, sir.
I think, Mr. Mayfield, that Hines Boulevard has always been a problem. We usually is more of an enforcement issue. Ricky will go out and send out notices on trash cans, putting them back and not leaving them at the road. But it's always a thing. And I think we end up, one time we did find that actual owner or sent a, sent a thing
It's
there. So
terrible. And
It's
I
been
go
like
down it
that.
every day and I see it, but I guess, you know, you go down the street so much,
You
you
get used to
kinda,
looking at it.
but the other day when this lady called, she was like, I know you see it because that's the road you take to work. And she's right, I do, and I did see it. So I stopped and looked and there's 2 basketball goals, there's 2, 3, 4 couches and end tables and garbage cans everywhere and she was right, it looks terrible. So,
We'll get Ricky, he can come on up and get on your report. Y'all have the library report. And they always, department heads fuss at me because they say I take their thunder. I didn't mention the ball field because I thought Ant was gonna mention it. But Ant, the Parks and Rec team and Jerry, they've been out there, the current ball field's painting. They did I know his team, did a lot of work on the concrete bleachers about 2 or 3 months ago, I guess, and trying to patch that up until we decide what we are gonna do. Just because we're looking to build something new, we don't need to let what we got fall apart no more than it already is. So I didn't mention it, but Jared mentioned it. But yeah, thank y'all. The school sent some people over. Dylan, who was it, the Beta Club or?
Just Balls and Tricycle
Some,
Seniors.
the seniors, they sent some of them over there last week and been painting, and Aunt Hal, he was covered in green paint today too, so hopefully it'll all be done next week or two, so. All right, go ahead, Ms. Watkins.
All right. You have my monthly report. We'll go over it and then we'll talk about some other things. Building consultations 10, permits written 3, building inspections 2, plumbing inspections 2, mechanical inspections 2, and courtesy notices 20. We've had bunches of requests, and Carrie Beth gets them the same as I do about the Murphy Oil. They're gonna tear it down, build a new one. They're actually not gonna build it, they're gonna bring it in and set it in place, but all that's, these doggone, environmentals are crazy. I mean, it's just, we get a request and it may be 75, 80 questions on that thing. And I've had 2 more of them come to me today or call me today about them. Hines Boulevard, as the mayor said, is a royal pain. Is it a landlord issue? Is it a tenant issue? It's some of both. Nobody owns whatever's at the street. You know how that goes. You go out there and, is that your trash can out front? Nope, mine's in the back. Well, you got 4 apartments in this building, not a single one in the back, so one of yours is there, you know?
yeah.
I've been out and I put a notice on every single door out there. I've written letters to the owners. And one of our biggest problems in the city, I think, with a lot of our properties, rental properties especially, is out-of-town owners. I went to a seminar on Friday, that fair housing seminar in Jackson, and West Tennessee Legal Services was there. And everybody that was there had the same problem. It's the out-of-town owners. It's out of sight. It's out of mind. They just don't care. So, you know, one of the things I want to try to start doing is, if we're going to talk about having somebody come to a hearing, let's start having some of those landlords come. You know, bring them as well as the tenants, get them both here. May or may not do any good, but we can try. You know, we work on it. I know Ms. Ray was telling some stuff earlier that we need to do, and Hines Boulevard is one of many. And we got some more houses we got to get on and try to get cleaned up and get down bunches of cars. Probably, if I was to give an estimate, we've probably got between 100 and 150 abandoned vehicles in the city that need to be moved. And, you know, it's a little bit of a sore spot. I've never gotten a cussing over telling somebody to clean up the yard. I have gotten cussings over telling them to move those old cars that are rusted out, no tires, sitting on the ground. But that was my granddaddy's car, you know. I understand it was your granddaddy's car, but he can't drive it anymore. You can't drive it the shape it's in. Sell the doggone thing, get the $50 or $100 for it, whatever you can get, and, you know, and move on. But people just don't want to, they don't want to do that, so.
Hey, is there an update on the property that was too wet last month to do anything with?
We still haven't gotten anything moved as yet. We should be getting kind of a time.
Yeah, once that was on the to-do list, then a lot of this rain came and so it's gonna be, that's gonna have to be done with some backhoes, some track holes and dozers, and once
Right,
he's
and
clear
records.
over there,
Yeah.
the record can't get back there.
Yeah.
We're gonna get them up closer to the road to get it started.
And Ms. Ray and I've had this conversation a couple of times, because I just seen her in the office here, and we've talked about it. You know, we can't, as a city, I don't think we can afford to tear up their property, cleaning up their property, and then us be facing a lawsuit to go back and fix their property. That defeats the purpose, I think, so. But we hadn't forgotten it. I promise you that, we hadn't forgotten it, so we're gonna try to get it done. Hopefully, we can have it done by I won't say the next council meeting, because that's just a week or two away. So, you know, because we're late on this one, but we're working it.
All right, thank you, Mr.
On that,
Watt. I'm sorry, I didn't know.
No, you're fine. Mr. McClellan, have we checked that ditch lately to make sure that the water's still flowing?
Well, the last time I was through there, it's flowing good.
Yeah, it's still.
It is good.
I know Jerry keeps an eye on it.
Okay.
Opening that culvert up, there was a mattress in there and 2 tires that had one whole culvert blocked. So we got that out, and last time I was through there, this rain, it was actually flowing
Okay,
pretty well.
thank you.
All right,
Thank you, Mr. Watt.
thank you.
Next, community and tourism, development, Mr. Hill.
Good evening, council.
Good evening.
You have my report there. Attended the Southwest Tourism Summit with Commissioner Mark Exell at the Southwest office in Jackson. Attended TDC Day on the Hill. Had the opportunity to meet with Senator Wally and Representative Shaw. Completed Retail Academy in an effort to gain knowledge and best practices in retail and franchise recruitment. And this as we've hosted the Jason Crabb, Grammy Award winner Jason Crabb at the Louise Theater. Since then, we've also hosted Big Gun and AC/DC Tribute. Both of those shows were sold out. So we are on a good track for this year's show. And the next show is coming up quickly. It is a short gap between shows this time, April the 10th. I believe I'm right. Make sure that's a Thursday. If that's Thursday, it's the 10th. If it's not a Thursday, it's that week. But it is a Nashville songwriter show. 3 of Nashville's best songwriters, and you can see a list of that on our Facebook, are coming in. They wrote some great hits from everywhere from Willie Nelson and Merle Haggard to new stuff, Easton Corbin, Cody Johnson, and things like that. So we expect it to be a good crowd as well. And again, as always, if you guys would like to attend, we have tickets for the balcony.
That was a good show the other night.
Thank you. It was a great attendance too. That's that's my big thing. What's going to sell and what's going to bring people into Bolivar again this week. I asked, as I always ask, how many people have ever been to the Louise Theater before, and 70-75% of people had never been. How many haven't even been to Bolivar before? And a good number of hands raised for that. 10 to 20 people had never even been to Bolivar before, but came in for this. So that's the goal. That's what we're doing it for, and it is working. So.
Mr. Hill, how's the Timbers building doing? Are we having people come in, utilize it?
Yep, all day today we had daycare center. Actually, 2 daycare centers came together and hosted their state training there. Our local Army recruiter, Mr. Richard Pierce, he is actually having his office space there now since the Armory is closed. He's utilizing that space. We've had a couple of others. We've got a gentleman that works in IT, but his mother is sick, so he has to come to town to take care of her. He's using that as his office space. RAP, women, I can't remember exactly what that stands for, but she's using that as her office space, so it's getting a lot of traffic. The county industrial board is using the conference room for their monthly meetings as well, so it's getting a lot of traffic. And
You had a class reunion meeting or something.
had a class reunion last Thursday, class reunion meeting there, so it's getting a lot of traffic, a lot of use, and complete amazement. Each person that comes in and looks at it, especially those that saw it before the renovation, they're proud of it.
It
and
looked good.
Excited to
on
have
the
it.
inside, but that really, if we could, if we ever come up with the money, we ought to paint that outside of that building. You know how that brick be looking good when you paint it right there in the middle of town.
The outside could still use a little work. It is a historic building, which kind of limits, especially on the outside, what we can and can't do. But it is we do have a lot of use right now of that.
And that roof, believe it or not, has been cleaned off. I don't know. You can't tell, but it's been cleaned.
Well, it was clean. Then we removed the tree, so
we're gonna
it's
try to
not
clean it
turning
again.
anymore, but it still is probably needs another cleaning.
Thank you,
You're
Mr.
welcome
Hill.
also to put that on, send it on my Facebook page so we can get it out there more. I believe more people knew about it, they not cause I go to work, I talk to them, they didn't know.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So the more we get it out there, the
Will you
better.
mention something
Absolutely.
Put it on my page.
Jessica resigning from the library?
Carabeth,
It's fine, we can go to, we can talk later.
Go ahead,
no, I just wanted to know, did we have any updates with the historical zoning committee about setting up that meeting that we wanted to? Okay, and that's just gonna be us, and then we're gonna schedule the meeting for the community that day? Is that how it, okay. All right, well, that's my report from the historical zoning committee, right there.
Thank you, we really enjoyed it. DEFCO meeting will be the 31st, at 5, tentatively Monday at 5. DEFCO meeting the reschedule at 5.
For what day?
The 31st. That's all the committee reports. Moving on to old business. Since we met, y'all should remember, we approved to give Mr. Nelson a sign over here on whatever street, which by concern, what I thought was gonna happen has happened. Since that meeting, I've had 3 people ask me for a sign. So what I'm asking y'all, and I'm not saying we need to undo anything with Mr. Nelson, anything like that, but and I think me and Larry actually was talking about it some up here. I would like to see us put some type of sign policy in place. A lot of cities have that, especially your bigger cities, have that in place. And what it is these are different. I've just put some stuff. What I put in here was just some random stuff. It doesn't have to necessarily be this, but of course, what we addressed, it won't be technically a renaming the street. It won't change anybody's addresses. But what are the terms on what we're going to base a street name on? And I just want to hear some thoughts on that. Are we going to just say whoever wants it can have it? Because if that's the case, like I said, I've had 3 reach out since that meeting wanting some type of honorary sign. And me personally, I think we need to put some type of criteria in this where it's attached to something, whether it be a community leader that has been recognized for something or whatever that is, or how we want to do that. I don't want to be the one to say Larry can get a sign, but Todd can't, Caroline can't. I don't want to get in the middle
And
of
then
that.
if they on the same street, that could be a controversy. And I know, like Caroline said, if they change the street, then you got to change your driving license number and all this other stuff, you know. So one person on the street not no more important than the next person on that same street. So, you know, you get into a big thing. And
What if we decide we're gonna maybe just do one a year? You know what I mean? We gotta limit it. Like, we definitely can't be talking about that every month.
Well, and that's why this is on the agenda now, because I've been getting bombarded with it.
Yeah.
And I like, if
like
y'all are
this.
good with these, I can put this into an actual resolution or ordinance policy and bring this back. But these are just some of the general things that other communities had, which, you know, we can add, take away. One thing I would like to say that we leave in here is the no impact on addresses, which we will not officially change the street name. But, you know, some communities have it where the sign is only up for 10 years, and after 10 years it goes down. And so that street can be renamed or recognize a person or however. But, all right, if everybody's good with these in here, we can do this and we can.
I like all of these, but I do think that we need to set like a number that we're gonna do it, or we're gonna say we're doing it once a year or something, because that's not something I think that we really should wanna be talking about every month. Someone coming up and saying that, and you don't wanna be getting called about it all the time. Nobody does. I don't know what those parameters would be, but like you're saying, 3 or 4 people called.
Yeah,
Well, I
and,
don't
you know,
think everybody doesn't need it. Everybody.
And I honestly, I don't. When we've renamed, what we're doing for Mr. Nelson, I don't know. I'd say it like this. I don't know what y'all base that on, other than him just coming to ask. So, you know.
Yeah.
That was my concern from the jump, just because I know how often that has happened. But
What other streets recently, in the last 5-6 years, have we did this for?
Since I've been here, the only thing that we've done an honorary sign for is, Tiger Alley, and the walkway for, Mr. Archie Williams. But we haven't done a street, I haven't done a street anywhere.
Is there
What
not
about,
one?
what's her name's, son? Terry's son, just that little,
The-
that
the
little
s-
sign, so maybe that's what people want, they
The
just
s-
want one of those little
The,
signs.
city didn't do that, that wasn't,
Oh, okay.
they, somebody that worked at the county road department made that sign and put it up there. We didn't put that sign over there.
Maybe that's what, some people just maybe want that sign in their yard, maybe we can direct them to the company that makes those signs and they can just go directly and get one, and we don't have to be involved.
Yeah, you
Really?
can't just put signs like that up, either.
Well,
In your
you can't
yard.
buy, somebody just made, you can't, I don't think that company sell them signs like that, I don't think, to us, but.
I think we need to find somebody that does do what they want and say, knock yourself out, here.
Yeah, but then you
Because-
also don't wanna get into it where you got those signs up at every corner either.
Yeah, you couldn't do signs like that, like we have a sign ordinance, in place and.
Well, I mean, some people just want it kinda in their yard, and if
Yeah,
it's
now,
in
if it's
their
in their
yard,
yard,
they can do what they wanna do.
Yeah. But these people are not asking for a sign in their yard. It's clear what they want. They want a sign put up in honor of their family or whatever it is.
I just don't know how you would ever set boundaries on the qualifications
Right.
that you wouldn't have a lot of pushback, cause
Now, I didn't go in depth in here. It's
the
some,
rules don't apply, so.
it's some that goes
I'm gonna do that.
a little more in depth where it says that person, elected official, like different, it's a whole bunch, I didn't just put all that in there, but it's up to y'all.
I just don't think we need to be in the business of putting up, honorary street signs at all, because, that's just an added cost, and there's no way you would ever determine parameters that would be suitable to everybody.
Yeah, 'cause everyone's going to think their family is important.
That's right, and I think
And
that's
that's true.
I think that's just a fight we don't need to get into.
You're right.
You doing one family, and another family leaving down the road you were speaking of, they gonna get upset about it, well, I ain't get one.
I'll tell you
I think we're getting a little bit too much into it.
I tell you
Right.
another thing,
Just leave it
if
alone.
you drive down
Yeah,
any
you're right,
county
man.
highway road, there's a million throughout the county, and people see stuff like that. That's probably some of what.
Now, with those on a state
That's a
highway,
state highway.
they have to get it approved
No,
by,
it's a state highway.
on a state highway, they have to get it approved by the county commission. The county commission sends it to the legislative body, the legislative body vote on it and.
Right, I'm just
bring it
saying,
up.
like, they see those,
And want
right?
that
Like,
same thing,
right.
yeah.
But out back on the state side, that you had to clean up that road one day, one
That's
time
what
a year.
it's saying too,
So
that
they
you're
probably
responsible
clean up
for.
community one time a year, we don't do
Well,
that.
not all of them, some of them are like that, yeah.
I like those.
And remember, it hadn't been long ago, Mr. Williams come here,
Yes, he was.
and he wanted, to change margin back to William, and we said at that moment, no. So I think we just need to stick with what we say.
Just leave it alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I make a motion that we
I
don't
second it.
approve,
I second
any policy on honorary signs.
I second that, we got to be fair about it.
Is that gonna affect the
We're
one
not
that-
gonna be fair. doing
On this, that's fine on this motion. I got a question, well, let's vote on this. I got a question afterwards though.
What
What
does
are we
that
gonna
mean,
do
after
with?
Mr. Nelson?
Well, that's
or
what I can
not?
ask him now.
We've already done that, so I
Okay.
mean, I think that's
Change
fine.
that.
Okay, that's what I
I
want
just
to do.
think going forward, we just don't need to get
Just
into
going
that.
forward, right.
I mean, there was no vote on that though either. I mean, there was no vote on it. It was just something.
No, we
that-
didn't, just more so of
But
an
we
agreement.
agreed to it.
Yeah. I have a motion and a second, so your motion is to not have a street naming policy,
Just to not do,
not do street names,
Not to
okay.
do
We have a
honorary
motion
street
not to, do honorary street names, and a second by Mr. McKinney, all in favor say aye. I'm sorry, cast your vote.
Push the button.
All right, Motion carried. I still want clarity on how do y'all wanna handle Mr. Nelson. We did not take a formal vote on that. That was like, I said we'll get it, and that was it. Now, how do y'all wanna address that? That's completely up to y'all.
I think because we did tell him, we do need to stand by our word, because he has stopped me a couple of times since then to remind me what we said. He really wants 2 signs, and I told him, get out of here with that.
All right, so all right,
Maybe
cool.
just make him a sign and give him a certificate and just explain to him, you know, here's a sign. You
It's
can
in
put
your
it,
yard.
You can put it in your yard if you wish. Here's your certificate. We appreciate, you know, your family's contributions. Maybe something like, because we're still honoring what we said we was gonna do.
That's what I said.
All right, I just wanted to be,
His house is right there.
I just
beside the
wanna,
road.
be clear with all that, that's all. All right, that's all on, old business. Moving on to new business. Capital outlay note for purchase of the land. This is for Project General John. We discussed it in our council meeting and our attorney-client meeting. And what this is, we approved the last, month to get we have to get the resolution approved by the, comptroller anytime we're, borrowing funds. So that's what this is. Before we vote on it though, Caroline reached out to me, had some questions. I have a number from that entity's, representative that I will give you and anybody else that wants that tonight to call and
Right.
talk to them.
Only just because we decided in our private, you know, attorney-client meeting to do it, I said that I would like to hear from that entity to give us a little bit more detail before, because we're talking about spending $375,000 to purchase land. I really felt like we deserve to hear a little bit more about the plan and what happens if it falls through, you know, but Kevin said that he was gonna make sure that if it didn't go through, we would, you know, revoke the purchase and all that. I just think when we're making decisions about this amount of money, we deserve to have a little bit more information, not just from Julian, but whoever talked to you needs to come to talk to us. We need the same information that you have.
All right, and I'll give you that number. I've answered all the questions you've asked me, so anything else?
Does anybody else think, everybody
Is
else
he
thinks
gonna-
we got enough information?
Is he gonna come to you want him to come to the meeting and talk to
I
us?
mean, if it has to be an client meeting, if that's where we have to discuss it, yeah, they could come and, you know, just give us a few minutes. I mean, because we're the ones that have to vote to spend the money, they should come talk to us about it. That's just my opinion.
What about, if that be the case, what about then let them come and then we'll put it back on our agenda for our next meeting?
I mean, we've already,
I mean,
voted on
that's
it.
the mayor's job, is to be the liaison
Yeah.
between these groups. I mean, I
I
think we
just
let the
feel-
mayor do his job.
But I just think that I'm sorry, I just would like more information, and if I'm the only one, I'll take the number, that's fine. Maybe nobody else wants any more information.
We,
Give me the number too, cause I would like to know some things myself.
I will,
300,000.
we voted on, what we're voting on tonight is the resolution for the actual, capital outlay note. We've already approved the purchase of the land, and that process has already been started, contract's been signed. So tonight, I'm not asking for approval to purchase it, I'm asking for the approval of the actual note to send to the, comptroller. And I will, like I said, share that, but I just was giving you the contact, cause it'd be quicker for you to call than to us to actually set up a council meeting to have that meeting. So, I mean, like I said, I was gonna share that contact. It's not like we just get together and have a meeting just because we, you know, wanna do that. If there's any questions that y'all have, anytime.
Well, I had
Any
questions.
question, hold on, let me finish. Any questions that y'all have anytime, I will share all the information I got, and I will, if there's questions that I can't answer, I will get the answer. And like I said, I will share contact with you and everybody for that matter, if y'all wanna call and ask that, on anything. All right, is there a motion to, I'm sorry, go ahead, Mr.
Well, I
McKinney.
think in the near future that we need to have a little more information than what we get. I know you're the mayor, but still, we the one have to vote on it. We the one have to answer to the citizens. be more transparent in giving information, I guess that's the proper word to use. It's be more transparent than just, you know, this and that's it. I like to be a little more involved in something like that, especially the high price that we're paying.
On that issue there, that's the one we discussed back in the back, right?
Yeah.
I thought we got a lot of information then, when didn't nobody have any other questions back then, you know? Well, if we do, you know, we can ask more questions, but we discussed, and didn't nobody have anything else to ask when we was back in the back. It was kinda something we kinda keeping under the cover there for a minute, seemed like, you know, because we didn't want it to get away from us, you know?
We might have questions, but the right person was not there to
Okay.
ask the question.
Okay,
Just can't ask questions and nobody's there. That's all I'm saying.
okay, that'd
See
be
what I'm
good
saying?
for that number, that'd be good, you know? Yeah.
Is there a motion to approve resolution 2025-003?
So moved.
Have a motion from Mr. Williams, second by Mr. Lau. You will cast your vote. Motion carried. Next is resolution 2025-004. What this is a resolution in support of Blue Oval. We had a meeting with 4 representatives from Southwest mayors, I guess last week, week before last, and they was just giving us an update on where they are. They assured us the project is still moving forward, but they asked if our local governing bodies would pass this resolution of support to just let all of our elected officials on the state level as well as the federal level know that, you know, we're still in support of Blue Oval and just showing our support to them.
So I have questions. You said that you all had a meeting and they gave you some updates. Can we get a little bit of updates? Like, do they know when the
Still-
jobs are gonna come? Cause that's what this is all about, right?
They're still slated for 2027. They had the delay and they said they're still on board to start in 2027.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know why they need a resolution what are we praising them for postponing it again and again? I mean, I say wait until you do something and then we'll give you a resolution and we can't thank you for what you haven't done yet. That's just me. I'm sorry. I just know we've gotten into this, bringing the governor to town, doing all this stuff, bringing people here, having a big, huge to-do, nothing happens. You know what I mean? Wall Innovations came to town. Everybody had their hard hats and their shovels. They said in 3 or 4 months, we're gonna start. Nothing's happened. That's been a year ago. I'm just saying, all these proclamations and PR things, and the citizens still are not benefiting. There's still no jobs. That's just a little frustrating to me. Thank you.
Any other questions on the resolution? So now is there a motion to approve resolution 2025-004?
So moved.
I have a motion by Mr.
Second.
Williams, second by Mr. Golden. If you would cast your vote. Motion carried. All right, next we have approval and acceptance of bid for ICE building. This is what I talked about earlier. This is you can see all the bids here. We had, I think, 5 bid. The low bid was S&T Control Wiring. Their bid amount was $407,517. Our engineers is asking us to support the low bid from S&T Control Wiring Incorporated. The other bids was Wagner General Contractors, $575,450. Reed Electric, $589. Savannah Electric, $599. Rose Construction Incorporated, $653,350. And again, that low bid was S&T Control Wiring Incorporated.
Mayor, one of the questions I always ask, do we have anybody locally that wanted to bid on this, that could do it, or?
Nobody locally bid on it.
That's unfortunate.
And I don't know that we had any local contractors to do this type of work. I don't,
Not that big.
No,
Yeah.
S&T is about as local, they're
in Moscow.
Yeah.
area.
That's a lot cheaper too. It's $167,000.
And they did have a talk with, the engineers did talk with them to make sure there was not any discrepancies in their bid, because we
I
said the
saw
same
that and I
thing.
was like, holy.
Yeah, but
cow.
I know me and Ricky and we, the engineers, we talked a while after the meeting, but right now, everything looks good, and there is some contingencies and stuff in there. in the event that they missed something in that bid, but, they went back through the bid tab, and right now they're still asking for the recommendation on the S&T control wire.
So this is gonna replace the panels, the lighting, just kinda update the electrical, get it where somebody can basically
Come
move
in
in.
and, yes, ma'am.
I make the motion if there's no more questions that we approve it.
Second it.
I have a motion by Mr. Williams, a second by, Ms. Miller.
I have a question there, maybe I missed it or something. Is that, 400-something thousand, is that, out of a grant, is that coming out?
Yes.
I might have missed it.
Yes, sir, it's a grant.
Okay, thank you.
If you would, cast your vote. Motion carried. Next, we have the approval and acceptance of bid for ARP Sewer Rehab Phase 1. See here, same thing on this, they're just asking for our approval for the, low bid, and what number? Their recommendation is Suncoast Infrastructure of Florence, Mississippi. It's $553,765. That's what Jim mentioned earlier, utility department has approved it, and this is also a grant as well.
All right, make a motion.
I have a motion by Mr. McKinney,
Second.
second, a motion and a second by Mr. Brown, if you would cast your vote. Motion carried. Do I have a motion with adjourn?
So moved.
Motion by
Second.
Mr. Kennedy, second by Mr. Williams. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion